Your thing. There
Oh,
we go. Got to log into Zoom to make this whole thing work.
oh yeah,
Zoom makes you have passwords now.
yes. I mean, there's a lot of technology thing going on, and just like Eric said, he's been trying to work on the actual deal for the Prescott Times, so we could actually have stuff scrolling and moving, and so you guys can also find out more information at theprescotttimes.com. And as you guys can see it, it's like right here or right here on your screen. Yeah, go follow that page, and you'll be able to see a lot more local news for the local area for Prescott, Prescott Valley, and Chino Valley. Now, there's a couple things that I want to chat about, and the number one thing is obviously we started this all because of COVID. Well, it was supposed to happen. Let me go ahead and get that straight. But since COVID came out, Eric was like, "Hey, man, you gotta stay up in front of everybody." And I was like, "Hey, man, you want to do a morning show?" So here, I think we're going on 9 weeks now.
Yeah.
I hate to keep on counting these weeks down because we're here to stay, and we're going to be doing a lot more for you guys in our community. So,
all right, the only thing I want to talk about though right now
go
is
ahead.
the most important thing is what day today is.
What day is it, Eric?
It is National Chocolate Chip Day.
National Chocolate Chip Day.
Yep, I think that's an important day.
That is amazing.
I love chocolate chips, so
man, I think my favorite candy right now is these little I don't know if they're signature candies, but they come in these nice little packages. They're a little ball, and in the middle of it has caramel, salt caramel in the middle of it, and I am just in love. I'll eat a whole bag and have no regrets whatsoever.
Is that like they're like it's a plastic, it's a foil lookalike wrapper type thing? Oh,
Yep.
those are so good. Yeah, those Christmas time, those are huge.
Yeah, they're huge every day for me, man. Oh I love my candy. It's really honestly the best part of like literally like the best part of my life. It being able to love certain things and actually go out there and grab it and just eat it. So let's go ahead and get into one of the biggest reports that we had yesterday with that car chase, fires, shots fired. Well, they finally identified the person. And that was pretty crazy. I mean, like from what everybody was saying, obviously we posted something on one of our groups, and I think you guys are watching right now. It's the Prescott Emergency for Fire and Police, and Eric actually posted a link that he has on broad. What is it, broadcast or broad something?
Oh, Broadcastify, so you can listen to the local scanners.
Yeah, so he put that on there, so you guys could actually listen to the scanners, and it's actually also has the sheriffs. But the person that was doing all this craziness was Alfredo Saldivar. I am going to lose my Spanish card here today. The charges were endangerment, aggravated assault upon a law enforcement, criminal damage, unlawful flight, leaving the scene of an accident, resisting arrest, and all charges are felonies. And the suspect is being held without bond. And let me go ahead and show you guys.
So there was all kinds of conspiracy theories, right? And so where is this guy from?
They didn't state all that. Hey, Eric, give me the ability to share.
Sorry. Yep.
And guys, this is crazy. I actually don't know where he's from, where he lives. I don't know anything about him. I just know that he caused major havoc in Prescott Valley, and it is on the news. And so that's what we do, man. We actually,
let's see it.
Let's go ahead and see the guy's mug. And there he is, everybody. That is Mr. Alfredo, and he doesn't look too happy. He looks like life was going rough. So we don't know the full story, and we could go ahead and come up with a couple of like hearsays and what happened and stuff like that. But as of right now, man, it just looks like he's in a lot of trouble, and that day wasn't his day to be hanging out. That is for sure. Now there's a lot of things that are happening in our local area, but we like to make people famous for not because we want to laugh at them, but it's because we really honestly want to inform our locals that the stuff like this is actually happening. And one of the things that we don't want is it to keep on reoccurring. But we can't stop the violence or the crimes because people are going to do what they do. And nobody's perfect. I'm not going to even proclaim that I'm perfect, but at the same time, we try to go ahead and maintain a good communication with our community. But guys, guess what? We have to put these guys on blast, and it's not because we want to; it's because we should let everybody know that these type of things are happening in our community. So, couples arrested for drug use dealing with a 3-year-old child in protective custody now. So, this is not cool. This is not what's supposed to be happening. But over the past several weeks, the Partners Against Narcotics Trafficking, also known as PANT task force, received information that 27-year-old Justin Horton was involved in the transportation, sales, use, and possession of heroin. This information has been gathered through multiple sources and has been collaborated or corroborated
Corroborated.
by independent investigation conduct by PANT detectives. So, they're doing their job. They're getting these people off the streets. And here is two more excellent people to basically say this is what not to do. I love actually watching, police videos, and Ceci would be like this, why are you watching those videos? And I'll be like, well, I actually am watching it because I'm looking at something that I shouldn't be doing. So I learned from these videos from.
Okay, so I know we've really committed to local, and you talk about looking at stuff you shouldn't be doing. I've got to bring up something, and I know you're big into these whole theories and things like that. Okay, so there was a bill passed yesterday in the Senate where 37, I think, senators voted to approve it, to basically say the FBI, the government, can look at your browsing history without a warrant. Did you know about that?
I sure did. I actually seen that information, and I mean, one of the crazy things about it is that Eric, we could go ahead and I think we actually talked about this yesterday, right? That they'll be able to go ahead and just jump right in. But you know what? If you guys are God-fearing people, then this is how it goes down. You worry about what God's going to do to you in Judgment Day. So basically, that's my take. That's my only deal for me. So guys, that's how I live.
I don't know, all this COVID stuff, my friend, and then you got this going on. I don't like that. That's from an internet security perspective. All I see is danger, danger, danger. And that's scary for me.
Yes, and once again, guys, this is a big deal. You got to protect your youngs. You got to protect everybody that's around you, and at the same time, we all as a community have to, take care of ourselves. Sorry, Healthy with Liz. If you want to go ahead and see what we're doing, go to the PrescottTimes.com or the Prescott Times. We'll be able to enjoy what we have going on here. Okay, so a lot of things were coming in yesterday. One of the things that did not come in yesterday was the update for COVID-19. Oh, there it is. Wait, yep.
I saw the mayor's update yesterday, and so I think it should be there. Yeah.
Yeah, the mayor is really like involved with the community, and he's basically saying, guys, we're getting started. Everything's looking good. And even though the numbers are going up as far as positive cases, it's still showing, that deaths are being, they're still happening. But we're only at 5 deaths right now, and I don't take the word only as lightly as possible, because any loss is a bad loss. So, and we've been saying that since the beginning, Eric, like any loss is a bad loss. And then there's some things that, we would love to go ahead and also see is the numbers in comparison of like other things that have started arousing. And then, like you said in the beginning, Eric, that the number of deaths that were because of people getting, like doing extracurricular activities went down, way down. Have you looked at that statistic or that?
Do they have new numbers? I haven't looked at the new numbers lately, but I know people still aren't driving long distances to work, and car accidents are way down. But on the flip side, you have domestic violence stuff up. I mean, I think all the local law enforcement has told us about that those domestic violence calls and those kind of things are actually way up.
Yes, and that is a good thing, bad thing. One of the things that the mayor was saying is that a lot of other like miscellaneous viruses that were going around, like pneumonia, other flu virus strains, were all going down as well. So it went from like a 20% to a 10% since COVID-19 has come. And I mean, my question would be, was that because nobody wanted to go to the hospital, so they didn't want to contract COVID-19, or they didn't want to go to the hospital and let them know that they had COVID-19 and suffer the repercussions? I think we actually had that hopes. I said, are we going to be shipped to New Mexico if we have the COVID-19? And these are things that were said in the news or said in somewhere land, but now that's not happening. We actually can treat you here locally, if I'm not mistaken. So
right, yep. No, I think it's north of here. So Flagstaff and on the reservation is where they're doing things like that. But here we have capacity right now, so everybody's being treated locally.
Yeah. And you know what, guys, we haven't touched on the subject. And one of the reasons why we haven't touched on the subject is because we felt like maybe that was something that was actually evolving, but it seems like it's getting some major headline news. And that's we're talking about the Mingus Mountain Academy. We got a message this morning saying that there's some parents that have daughters that are in there that would love to go ahead and speak to us. So I'm going to go ahead and listen to see what they have to say. And obviously, I said the only way that we could do that is if you guys are all willing to go on the record. So I personally am not giving you information that doesn't come out of my mouth because I don't have no clue what's going on out there. And just like Leslie said yesterday or the day before that she knows what's happening out there, they actually posted something today, and I'll read you guys the insert that Yavapai County Health Department has given us. Mingus Mountain Academy update: 84 out of 141 students and 20 staff at Mingus Mountain Academy tested positive with more test results pending. Arizona total identified cases rose to 12,674 today, according to the most recent state figures. That's an increase of 498 confirmed cases, or 4.1% since Wednesday, while when the state reported 12,176 identified cases and 594 deaths. Now, if anybody would love to go ahead and do me a favor and do the math for me on that thing, that would be awesome because that is so confusing to me.
You don't love statistics?
I love statistics, but I don't know where they're going with them. The number of confirmed cases reported each day has risen steadily over the past week as more testing has taken place. Obviously, we know the blitz is going to be here. It's going to be here tomorrow. So basically, the blitz testing is free from what I was reading, and then they're also doing the antibody testing. The Yavapai Regional is doing the blitz testing, and Thumb Butte Medical, I think, is doing the antibody testing, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you're right. I think you're right. And did I read somewhere that this weekend is going to be the last drive-through?
It is the last drive-through.
Okay.
You know, Governor Ducey, I started reading some things, and it was kind of like concerned, like why did they do such a thing? But the scientist that has been a part of Governor Ducey's like staff in over regarding this, I guess she's been fired. Did you see anything like that, Eric?
I didn't see that. No.
Yeah, so she was. I mean, I don't know what's going on, man, but she got fired, and I actually started looking into it, and it was from one of the news sources out of Phoenix was saying that she got fired because she said that it's not a great idea to open up the economy, and Governor Ducey did not like that, and so she's like, "You got to sit back." Your whole team does. I this once again, this is from hearsay, so I'm gonna go ahead and look up it a little bit more. So I just wanted to see if you heard anything about it. But yeah, that's kind of sad.
Not well today. So speaking of today, the order ends, right? And a new order goes into place, which is just guidances with no real restrictions. Bars are opening as long as they serve food. You can't just go to a bar that just is a bar. They won't be able to open. And the loophole is they have to serve food. So I don't know if you heard any of the Whiskey Row bars or what they're doing. Are they going to serve food? Are they staying closed?
You know, some are actually opening up and serving some food, man. They're just like, let's do this. We're gonna serve food and serve alcohol, but obviously at a 50 capacity limit. And everybody, from what I've heard, has to do their own discretion. Each business has to do their own screening. They have to do their own like proper precautions to go ahead and help their clients that come in there. So basically, you got to be a little bit more on top of what you're doing for your clientele and your.
And so, San Martin, I want to ask you because we did it off camera with Leslie. She told you. So we were talking about temperatures, right? You're supposed to take your the temperature with that little magic infrared thing for everybody that walks in the door. And we had asked her, "Is like, at what temperature do you have a problem? And what do you tell those people to do? I mean, you remember what she told you?"
I don't remember what she told me, Eric. I kind of like got out of that. I was like,
yeah, well, she was saying that basically, if you have a 100-degree temperature that's registering on the unit, you've got to tell the people to go home and go get tested. You can't let them enter the establishment. So there's been a lot of confusion on what the rules are behind that, and that's really what it is. Is if they have a temperature, send them home, tell them to go get tested. Is what Leslie had said. You're muted, bud. There you go.
Right. Yeah, and once again, you know, we actually run through these types of things that are happening, and sometimes you just don't know what to do. It's one of those things where we're kind of like, how do we actually take these? Do we take them serious, or do we, just kind of like just brush underneath the rug? But everybody has to go ahead and create their own, what would you say, their
Safe,
own environment.
yeah,
But
their own
again,
safe environment.
people that are scared, we got to understand that you have a choice. You have a choice to stay home. You have a choice to go ahead and be out there and about, going out there. As you've seen the mayor, he seems like he's very comfortable with the people that he's been around. He's out there just moving life as life's supposed to be moving. But Eric, the question should be now: how long should you be afraid? And some people don't acknowledge this because once again the local media or the media in general is pushing a lot of like, I don't know, fear maybe,
Yeah.
or
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's clickbait. That's what fear is, right?
yeah, well, most definitely. I mean, the more
Yeah.
people that actually read the post, the better the numbers go up.
But San Martin, we've talked about it a bunch, and there's a difference between being afraid, and I don't think anybody should be afraid. But and there's also a difference of being stupid. And it's like driving a car down the road. Accidents happen, people die in car accidents. You're not afraid to get in the car, but you wear your seatbelt and you don't hang your head out the window while you're driving down the street. I mean, there's a difference there, and as long as people, I think, find the balance and listen to the health department, we'll be fine. But if people do things like drive down the street, which I saw somebody the other day doing that with their head out the window, like sitting outside the car, problems happen, right? I mean, that's kind of what it is. And we've got a comment from Erica here. And she's like, so the consumer is going um, to foot the bill for this. Absolutely. I mean, think about it from a perspective of a business. If they can only be at 50% capacity, their rent isn't 50% capacity. Their electricity bills for that same amount of space isn't 50% capacity. So not only are we going to be paying for it in our taxes, and they're talking about stimulus bills again, uh, the businesses are going to have to increase their prices here fairly quickly just to make ends meet, because 50% capacity is not a sustainable thing for a business.
Yeah, and one of the things that we've been educating everybody is you got to reinvent yourself. You got to start adding things to the pot. We're actually seeing a lot of cool things happen here local, even at Ceci Salon. Is that people are coming in and people are wanting to go ahead and get their services done. But what they've done is that they don't double book, they don't overpack the waiting room, and they're taking on one client at a time, and then taking a certain time after the client to go ahead and do their proper clean down and wipe down. It seems like business back to usual. And everything like that was already happening. It's just now you have to be a little bit more vocal of what's going down. But at the same time, Eric, I feel like a lot of people are comfortable, but they just don't want to say they're comfortable because of the backlash. If you're not wearing a mask, then what are you doing? So basically, this is the kind of life that we
And
are.
I think we should talk about the list of what's closed is smaller than what's open. And so the movie theaters are still closed. But I think today they're doing popcorn and ices out in the parking lot. So you can go buy popcorn and ices. I think it's a Friday night thing, right?
Yes, it definitely
The
is.
show.
Yes.
And then I also heard that is it Planet Fitness over by that same area? They're not reopening right away, and so they're not reopening until next month. I heard, and there's been a lot of people that were confused about that. And so most gyms are reopening. That big one is not right now.
Yeah, we actually got called from Anytime Fitness in Prescott, Arizona, and we're going to go visit them and see how they're going to be doing. But I just want to go ahead and, Eric, I know you've been asking, have you been working on that list? And yes, I have. And it's a very big, extensive list. So I want to show everybody what I've been working on in between working on everything else, my friends. But here is in alphabetical order some of the restaurants that are in. As you can see, we outlined it in dine-in, pickup, delivery, curbside, and drive-through. And this is what
Can you
we're
share
going.
your screen? I can't see it.
Oh, my bad. I got to press share.
There we go.
There it is. So, guys, this is all in alphabetical order. This is how it's going down. The ones that you see that doesn't have a marking in front of it is because they did not answer their phone.
So if you know somebody at any of these restaurants, have them reach out to San Martin so that he can update this list. It's going to be all prettied up and published here when he's done with the project.
Yeah, and I'm actually 100% calling every one of them and having a conversation. So it's taking a little bit longer than I expected, but at the same time, I'm actually having the ability to, really talk with them. And there's some things that I already know about some of these things in here, so I'm just going to run through it as soon as I'm done doing all the phone calls. But yeah, guys, this is the list that is up and running right now. and I got a lot more to do. But here we go. This is I think we're on N.
It's good.
So
It's funny because when I'm thinking, hey, where do I want to go out to eat? I never think that the list is this long. This is great.
yeah, and then you know what? It will bring to light how many people and how many restaurants are in Prescott, and how many restaurants are affected by the COVID-19. So, guys, I'm working on that list steadily, and it seems like a lot of people are coming in and wanting to go ahead and open up. It's just that they I don't know. Some people are also waiting for a product. I heard Prescott Brewing Company was waiting for the food source to kind of replenish itself, because they still have an issue with, I guess, meat. So
Yep.
I
And
mean,
it's funny, San Martin. It's funny you don't think about it, especially for brewing and stuff. I don't know if you bake or cook, but you can't find yeast right now to ferment and do baking and stuff like that. It's almost impossible.
it's insane to go ahead and see some of the things that people can't receive or get. So we have an opportunity. We just got to go ahead and seize that opportunity. You just got to find out where that's going to be.
Well, and it's funny or for Amazon, I've always complained that we don't get Sunday delivery, and they do in the Valley, and everything's 2 day, and sometimes it's quicker, of course, in Phoenix. But I don't know if you've ordered anything lately. I've got an order of taco sauce I have been waiting on from Amazon since March 15th that is still not shipped. And anything I do order that's Prime anymore is 2 days out the window. It's like a week or two now before you get it. And so and that's why it's always good to shop local if you can, because even trying to get this stuff in right now is tough. And then on the PPP, I saw news this morning, the loan for businesses and contractors. Everybody that's watching, guys, there's still money left, and they're encouraging people that they think that don't qualify. If you're a contractor, if you're if you own a business or a business owner, you're a business, there is still money out there right now left in this program, and it will be 100% forgiven if you follow the rules and use it for what they depict. And so if for some reason you don't think you qualify, or for some reason you didn't do it, the program, and you need help as a business, a restaurant, all these restaurants, I mean, look into that. Call your banker, because there is still stuff left, surprisingly.
Yeah, and I also was thinking that a lot of I actually heard one of the stylists over here, Taylor. She was like saying that she didn't want to actually apply for it, because she felt like there was like she wouldn't get it, first of all, and at the same time she was like, I really don't need it right now. But I would love for somebody else to receive it. But at the same time, it's just like I felt like a lot of businesses or people that are like were doing their thing aren't wanting to do it. They just don't want to apply for it because they feel like they're not going to get it. So
yeah, no, I mean, it's a lot of work. I know people have been declined 4 or 5 times because of paperwork errors, but it's not like a real loan. Like if you went and got a real business loan from the SBA, man, it is months and it's a lot of work. This is maybe 5 pages to sign and do, but I commend your stylist. If she doesn't need it, don't take it. I mean, it's there for businesses that are certainly, needing it to get through this time. So that's awesome that she doesn't need it, but it is designed for people like her that do need it to be able to survive these times right now.
yeah, Eric, send me that link. I'm going to need it, because yesterday I ended up talking to the Elks Theater, and they're thinking August is when they're going to start, doing anything in the big arena. And I had a big show on July 31st. I actually was supposed to do a comedy show tonight, and it's not happening. So
I can spin up the Zoom, and we can put a camera on you, and you could totally do a comedy show tonight.
I could, man, but I'm gonna have to probably be drunk in order for everybody to laugh at me, because that's the only way I'll be funny. And if I'm talking to myself, it's not really that much fun, bro. It's not.
And so speaking of August, I did get word that Prescott High is trying to figure out what to do about graduation, and so they're leaving it up to the students to kind of choose. And so they're talking about 2 different types of graduation next month, where it's less people, or they're talking about doing the full thing in August. And so they're waiting to hear back from the students and to kind of see where they're leaning to and where they're going to go. I mean, it's a tough call, because a lot of them are going to go off to college and won't be here in August. And so, but at the same time, who knows what next month is going to look like. So that's going on as well. I'm sure Mingus is going through that same thing. And of course, Chino Valley High. So they're all trying to figure out what to do for the seniors and graduation. But definitely it was supposed to be, what is it? I think it was supposed to be next week. And that is definitely not happening. there is no walking graduation for any of the high schools, I believe.
Okay, so check this out. Our show, and I just put a poll out right now.
Yep.
I'm going to go ahead and help us out. I put the ones that are the top, and we need to name the show. We got live from the 863, which I like because it's all of Yavapai County, 86314, 86323, 86301, 302, 304, 305.
Yeah.
Like we're going to cover the whole state of Arizona.
I'm impressed you remember all those.
Yeah, a little bit. But we're also wanting to go ahead and trying to get connected with the area, not just specifically Prescott. I know that we're called the Prescott Times, but we want to go ahead and also service all of the area that needs information to get out. So we
Prescott, Chino, Prescott Valley, it's all one big happy community.
Yeah. And then, I'm also helping out our little neighbor cities like Sedona, Jerome, and, some places down in Phoenix, Flagstaff. But at the same time, I'm always trying to help out, everybody in Arizona. So just want to let you guys know that we still need some help naming this show. So, guys, this is going to be a crazy cool weekend. I feel like this is going to be a beautiful weekend. There's no rain or snow in the forecast, so that's a good thing. But at the same time, it is May? Are we in May?
It's in May, yeah. And fall came back. I love it. Like 70s, low 80s, but mostly 70s. This is the weather I'm talking about.
Yeah. And I'm going to take a moment right now, and I'm going to be doing a little bit of a shout outs to all of the advertising people that have been with me and stayed with me during this COVID-19. I want to give a shout out to a local restaurant in Prescott, Arizona. I also want to give a lot of love to the Los Pinos Mexican restaurant on White Spar. They amazing Mexican food. Not to mention, it's always like family oriented. You know what? When I name these places, one of the reasons why I fell in love with them is because they make you feel at home, they make you feel loved, and they remember exactly what you eat. And it's kind of funny because I don't know, Eric. I remember the first time I think I ate dinner or lunch or breakfast with you. I said, "Oh, let me go ahead and get the usual." And you're like, "Oh, do you come here much?" I was like, "Oh no, that's the name of one of the meals." So it makes me feel at home. So it was like a catchphrase where people were like, "Oh, you must come here all the time." They actually know that you want the usual, but it's actually one of the plates that they have. It's called the usual. So that's kind of
it. The usual at the local. I love it. And Los Pinos, man, I keep meaning to go over there. You keep talking about how good their food is, and it's right just south of downtown. I'm excited to try it.
Yeah, and obviously the Desert Rose Salon, they've always been giving me so much love, and then not to mention I'm also dating the owner, which is also good for her because I am the marketing guru for the local area. So we do definitely love the people that still give love to me, and you know what, she does help out on a big part. And then once again, a teamwork makes the dream work. We also want to go ahead and get some love to the Wilder House because obviously without Eric being here, I would be talking to myself, talking to the community. But Eric and his community involvement has to do with Airbnbs called the Wilder House on Whiskey Row, which is also south of Whiskey Row, exactly Whiskey Row, but a couple blocks away. So you guys,
it's about a block south. So I think most people, that's why we've been pretty vacant with the Whiskey Row shut down. The draw of staying there, people are like, there's nothing open downtown, so nobody's wanting to stay.
Not no more, Eric. Not no more, man. They're opening up this weekend. So, are you full this weekend?
We are. All the properties are full. It's the first time in months that everything is booked, and I had people actually calling, that couldn't find a place, that said everything in town was booked.
Okay, so the hotels and everything, all of it's booked.
Yeah, people are having trouble this weekend to get up here and find places.
Awesome. Well, that should be a good thing. That was one of the things that I was telling all the restaurants that, it looks like everything's being booked. I know all the Airbnbs are doing their thing. So that's awesome. I really, really, really like to hear that, man. It makes me feel happy. It makes me feel like everybody is actually trying to go ahead and actually do, their thing. And just it's just good. It's just good for everybody. So, guys, this is Friday. I don't know what you guys have planned this weekend. We're going to go ahead and keep up with the local news, and we're going to go ahead and give that information out to you. So just keep on following the Prescott Times, and we will be back on Monday to go ahead and have all the information that was coming through on the weekends to go live. But you guys could also go to the PrescottTimes.com. You could go to our obviously Facebook page, the Instagram page,
YouTube page. You've got
YouTube page.
and the news, right? You said you're going to get this streaming on the Prescott Times website too for those people that don't have Facebook. So
Yeah,
even that doesn't have Facebook, just point them to the Prescott Times page, and they'll be able to watch this too.
Yeah, so we're doing a lot so we can get this information out there to the masses. And it's kind of funny. I this might be in like a Snopes website, but I got a message this morning to say San Martin, the Prescott Times is now one. Let me see if I could go ahead and the Prescott Times and FeedSpot is in the top 5 Prescott news websites. So I feel kind of happy with that, even though I don't know who the person is, and I feel like he's one of those spammers. But guess what, guys? I'm still gonna take it as a win-win. So
that's a good win for a Friday. Absolutely.
I really appreciate everybody that follows us and helps us out. If you like what we're doing, like and share our page, and make sure that you understand that we're here for the people. This is an independently ran and owned website, web news resource for the local area. And we just want to get the information out for you guys. And we want to make sure that you guys have a great experience with us. And the morning show is going to stay. So thank you guys all for watching.
And hey, San Martin, real quick before you wrap, make sure if you have news, you want to get people to get it to you.
Yeah. We're always open for news. Like I said, we have some of the mothers wanting to walk forward and talk about what the girls are doing up there at Mingus Mountain. So we'll see what they have to say and see if there's something that is actually well, I mean, obviously it's newsworthy. Anybody that's going through this like trial time, that we got to like look into it, see what's happening. So anyways, we will love to go ahead and have that. We love pictures too. So if you guys got some beautiful pictures of a sunset, bird, dog, whatever, send those things, and we'll go ahead and try to put it on our news feed. And a lot of people are starting to acknowledge and see this, and once again, we couldn't do it without any of you guys out there watching us, and talking and sharing and posting. We couldn't do it without you. So I really appreciate everybody, and major shout out to all my sponsors and advertisers that stuck with me through the COVID and still are with me through the COVID. So, Joe's Barbershop.
Nice.
That's how I get this, guys. I love them there. Thank you, Johan. He is my barber. So if you guys need a barber, they're up there. Starting the 19th, they're going to be doing bookings only, appointments only. So they'll have one guy in there that will do walk-ins, but that's going to probably pack up fast if nobody knows exactly what's happening. So just let you guys know, appointments only over at Johan. So you're going to want to give them a call. So, yep. I love everybody. Thank you guys all for joining me. I do got to end, man. I want to start my weekend right now.
All right. It's Good Friday. It's certainly a good Friday. So anyway, have a good one.
Yes. Thank you guys. Peace, love, and happiness.